Ms. Baird, I have a number of questions relating to the actual functioning of the office, from law enforcement to the anti-crime agenda to the drug strategy to healthcare fraud, cooperation with the intelligence community and others, all of which I will get to. But as you know from our first meeting, I have a fairly, well, I won't say fairly, I have a very strong view relating to the matter to which you spoke last, and that is the hiring of undocumented workers by you and your husband. When we first met on January the 5th, following your being named by President-elect Clinton to be Attorney General, you volunteered this fact to me. You volunteered the circumstances under which this hiring took place, and you volunteered that what did take place was a violation of the United States immigration law. I've spoken to you at length about this matter, and you've been interviewed by the FBI and by the committee investigative staff under oath. And this matter is, as you know, a serious one in my view. The committee and the public, as we've discussed, has to be assured that you are, without exception, going to be willing to enforce the law. And the immigration law falls under your responsibility. It happens on your watch as Attorney General.
Okay.
And so I think they're split. I don't know.
Let me talk to something unsavory now, the issue of immigration.
Yeah.
Is there a Democratic Party position which accommodates the need to stop illegal entry, punish people who hire people with cheap wages illegally, and also gives hope to people who live here illegally and people who want to come here right now? Is there a possible combination that hits all those points?
I think there is. And I think that the McCain-Kennedy bill, Kennedy-McCain, the Specter bill that came out does it. If you take a look, Chris, at what Frist is talking about, only enforcement. The enforcement provisions that sit inside the Specter bill, the McCain or the Kennedy-McCain bill, there ain't a dime's worth of difference to them. They're the same amount of money, 12,000 new border agents.
You think they work?
Tougher. I think they will work better if they actually, in fact, do it.
Can you scare an employer in this country, whether he's an agricultural worker or a housewife, into not hiring an illegal because the punishment's so high that if you get caught,
yes,
it's a huge embarrassment to your family, and you may just get hit with a fine that'll kill you?
Yeah, absolutely, you
can do that.
And that's what we should do. Well, I think we should do that.
Because you can't catch everybody.
You can't. No, you can't. And the last part of this is that the Democratic position also recognizes you got 11 million illegal aliens here. They have to have a way to earn their way into the deal. This is an amnesty. They're required to take 11 years' worth. They pay a fine. They got to learn to speak English. They got to pass tests.
I like the English part.
Yeah.
I like the English part.
By the way,
if we want the problems of Canada right now, keep encouraging people to keep their foreign language. English is going to unite this country potentially. It always has in the past.
I can't think of a country that has 2 languages as their accepted languages that is doing all that well, including Switzerland and or Canada.
It divides us.
Yeah.
You can't talk to each other. Anyway, thank you, Senator Joe Biden.
As a presidential candidate in 2008, you supported the border wall, saying, unlike most Democrats, I voted for 700 miles of fence. This is what you said. Then you served as vice president in an administration that deported 3 million people, the most ever in U.S. history. Did you do anything to prevent those deportations? I mean, you've been asked this question before and refused to answer, so let me try once again. Are you prepared to say tonight that you and President Obama made a mistake about deportations? Why should Latinos trust you?
What Latinos should look at is comparing this president to the president we have is outrageous, number one. We didn't lock people up in cages. We didn't separate families. We didn't do all of those things, number one. Number two, by the time this is the president who came along with the DACA program. No one had ever done that before. This is the president who sent a legislation to the desk saying he wants to find a pathway for the 11 million undocumented in the United States of America. This is the president who's done a great deal. So I'm proud to have served with him. What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come. I would change the order that the president just changed, saying women who were being beaten and abused could no longer claim that as a reason for asylum. And by the way, retrospectively, you know, the 25th anniversary of the Violence Against Women Act is up. The Republican Congress has not reauthorized it. Let's put pressure on them to pass the Violence Against Women Act now. But then we'll go back.
You didn't answer the question.
Well,
did you make a Now, did you make a mistake with those deportations?
The president did the best thing that was able to be done at the time.
How about you?
I'm the vice president of the United States.
You, in your first 100 days as president, what will you do to create a pathway to citizenship for many undocumented immigrants? That is a big issue for the AAPI community. As you know, 1.7 million face deportation threats. Another 100,000 are young people who are affected by the DACA program. So 2 parts for you. What are you going to do to be more visible? And what do you say to the folks that think you're just going to be President Obama 2.0? And what are you going to do about immigration right when you get in office?
Look, I am very proud to serve with Barack, and it's one of the great honors of my life. I thought he was a great president. But even he acknowledges we can't go back to what it was. We have to go back and build back better. I'm going to send a legislative immigration reform bill to Congress to provide a roadmap to citizenship for 11 million undocumented immigrants who contribute so much to this country, including 1.7 million AAPI. My immigration policy is built around keeping families together, modernizing the immigration system by keeping families, unification, and diversity as pillars of our immigration system, which it used to be. Ending Trump's cruel and inhumane policy at the border to rip children from their mother's arms. Take immediate action to protect dreamers, including the more than 100,000 eligible dreamers from East and South Asia. Rescinding the un-American Muslim ban immediately. Restoring refugee admission in line with the values and historic leadership of our country. Raising the target to a minimum of 125,000 people a year in my first year. He's cut it down to 15. The average has been 95,000 a year. Working with Congress to establish a bipartisan legislation to ensure a minimum admission of 95,000 refugees. That's who we are. That's how my great-great-grandfather, 4 greats back, got here. He got in a coffin ship on the Irish Sea, never knowing whether he was going to make it, and he made it to the United States of America in 1848 when the British were anyway. So streamlining naturalization process, make it easier for qualified green card holders to move through his backlog. And by the way, he just indicated he ended H-1B visas the rest of this year. That will not be in my administration.